Hey, hi, howdy, how are you folks? My name is Nallex and welcome back to another League of Legends video. We're back playing some more Xin Zhao in the top lane. One of my favorite off-meta picks right now. I just found out about this. I like the way that the motion of the ocean, if you will, that Xin Zhao does on this emote. For whatever reason, the recording picked up my Discord overlay, so please bear with the fact that you'll see me talking to a bunch of my friends in the top left corner. Shout out those friends. They do check out these videos occasionally. But it's just me in the game, solo queuing into some ranked. We're right around gold elo and just having some fun. Playing against a Swain top lane, not a very common pick either, which means we don't got a lot of background knowledge in the matchup. Realistically though, I know Swain doesn't have a ton of damage early. Once you get this ult, things change quite a bit, but for now, things aren't too bad. He's a little late to lane, so we just take that lane prio early, tank one of his things, one of his Qs, do a nice big trade, get a lot of damage there. We do tank another Q, which evens out the trade, but with our lifesteal from Doran's Blade, we're feeling pretty good. Last video, I got a couple questions about whether or not to go Doran's Shield, Doran's Blade, or Doran's Ring. For me, it kind of just depends on the situation. I know that I'm going to get poked out a lot by Swain, but he also won't have priority in the lane. And so what that means is I don't feel bad about taking Doran's Blade because I'll be hitting the wave a lot and need that lifesteal for it, but also a bunch of extra damage on my auto attacks since it's going to be harder to poke him out. I can also go into more detail about why that stuff is. If you have any questions in the comments, please feel free to ask. I actually really enjoy answering questions about Xin Zhao top lane, one of my favorite picks. It truly is. I've been spamming it this season a lot. And a nice W on him there. Poke him out. We're still winning those trades, just baiting out all of his abilities while he, you know, has this wave under turret. Now, I'm in a bad spot here. I really want to get this wave crashed, but also I want to just let it bounce. So I'm backing up a bit, knowing that I'm low on HP. And I believe I do. Yeah, he does use his E there to reveal me. So I'm going to stay for just a little bit longer. This might be a bit of a mistake, but because he's spamming these emotes, part of me just wants to fight him perma. So we knock him up, W, boom, we kill him, and we get first blood. We do, of course, trade because we're inside of turret range, but the wave is pushing towards me, so everything is good, guys. Nothing's a problem. All right, so we use both of our summoner spells, got a kill, but we get pickaxe first item. This is super important. You want to back right around that pickaxe mark because pickaxe is a ton of AD and it buffs your damage a lot. Swain teleports back to lane, which is fine because it's still going to push towards us no matter what. And he comes back with double armor. Very strange choice on his part, but I'm fine with that. If he buys no damage, just armor, and I buy a ton of damage, we can do things like this. Alright, the second he comes back to lane, boom, he's dead again. Buy armor, get punished for it. Now, of course, we do have to work pretty hard to push this wave out. We can't really freeze it because we don't have teleport and we don't have the HP to stay. So we just push it out as quickly as we can, knowing that Swain doesn't have teleport as a way to kind of get anything out of this play. This is where we can put Swain behind by quite a bit, just pushing the wave, getting our farm, backing, and getting our next item. Boom, there you go. Push the wave. Recall immediately. There's no real need to walk in the bush. If the jungler is going to come, we would have spotted him anyway, so it's all good. Swain comes back to lane with a Bramble Vest as his very first item. A very strange choice on his part, but, you know, maybe it'll work out for him. We are doing quite a bit of healing, and we did take Doran's Blade instead of Doran's Ring. I don't think Bramble Vest is a bad decision. It just seems strange as a first item on Swain specifically. We'll see how it goes for him, though. I remember this game being pretty one-sided in the early game. Then towards the mid-game, once he gets, you know, more levels and his ult, things go a little more south for me. So yeah, at this point, I'm up a level on Swain. My wave is now bouncing back towards him. Things are looking great right now. Swain goes mid lane, which I don't think I spot in the moment. but it's perfectly fine because Ari has her ult, gets out just fine, and he just loses a bunch of XP. Look at a slow push, knowing that if he does walk up, we can just jump on him. And if he doesn't walk up, he loses the cannon minion XP and gold, which is just exactly what we want. He does finally make his appearance. Looking for W poke. Sometimes you land it, sometimes you don't. And this was a bit of a weird little lag spike moment there. I don't know what happened. It looked like that missed, and then all of a sudden I'm getting pulled. You can hear me spamming E. Hard to guess exactly what that range is. Get that wave pushed up. Get a ward to cover our back since we did just see the jungler bot lane. You know he's probably heading top. Find the Q poke. W poke. Now this is a really fun play here. Knowing that Swain can't really hurt me if I do my ult, I just blow up Udyr as fast as possible, run down the lane, eat the slow. Now that Swain's on top of me, there's no way I'm getting out, right? So I might as well auto attack him in the hopes that my passive will keep me alive using that healing. That does happen. Graves is of course also in the area, which is a big part of why we live during that fight, but that's huge for us, right? We survive a jungle gank, kill the top laner, and we get to crash another wave. Things are looking mighty fine during this early game as Xin Zhao. I probably could have stayed to get a plate, but probably also smarter just to go back. Get hit by Swain W, kind of awkward. Does mess up my tempo a little bit, but not enough to actually worry about. Going straight into our Eclipse, selling that potion to do so. We've got our first item before 8 minutes. Oh yeah, we like that. One little problem is that Swain is, of course, building Bramble Vest first item, stacking as much armor as humanly possible. The reason for this being, and it does become more apparent during the mid game, but he wants to stay alive long enough during his ult to just slowly kill me without me being able to kill him. It's not a bad idea. I just feel like it would have been smarter to go with this as a second item, and he wouldn't be so weak in the early game. But I would never complain about getting an early lead, trust me, on that one. Yeah, just executing the same plan. We know we're ahead. We know that we've got a slow push already rolling. Let's make sure it goes as slow as humanly possible, so that way if Swain walks up, don't know how that W missed, but we'll just ignore it. If Swain walks up, we jump on him, we kill him. Miss that minion. Yeah, Swain walks up, we jump on him, and just absolutely obliterate his health bar. Look at the spacing on that. Right as his pull comes through, I'm just out of range for the turret to hit me. I believe I could have played this next part better, if this is the part I'm thinking of. But Ari pings that her mid laner's missing. I miss my W, but I get his ult out, which is very nice. Fizz shows up. We see Fizz, but we're not too worried about it. We have our first item, and Swain is super weak right now. He just used his ult. We're not actually worried about it. We're just kind of respecting some space here while our mid laner and our support do a bunch of damage to the tower. Once we see Fizz, we know we are perfectly safe to walk back up, and we go from there. We do have Swain support this game, and you'll notice pretty quickly here soon that he is going to rack up a lot of deaths, but that is kind of the Bowsen way, and it's perfectly fine. We do flash out so we don't die to the turret here, but we do also chunk out the Swain. Now Swain is very ballsy. Somehow I missed that W again. I'm not going to go for it, right? He's waiting to pull me in and kill me. I'm not playing those games. Boom. Immediately back, get some progress towards our boots, but we actually... No, we do, okay. We're looking at the team here. This is why we're going for our boots choice. Obviously, you know, depending on who's their strongest player, we can choose what boots to go. Right now, it looks like Kog'Maw's going to be their strongest player. He's 3-0. We should get some steel caps, but it ends up, I think Kog'Maw goes for an AP style build towards the end. So I believe, switch up which boots I go. They shut down the Kog'Maw. We love when that happens. push our lane, you know? Find a timer, put a ward down. Been working a lot towards getting better at keeping a ward up in the jungle so I actually know what's going on most of the time. Am I actually good at it? No, but do I try to do it? Yes. Get hit by Swain here quite a bit, but it's fine. We know that we heal up with our items and our passive. Just looking for angles that we can hit Swain. You know the drill. We see the Void Grubs are spawning. We got the first 3, so we want to make sure we can get the next 3. I put a ward down, hopefully trying to catch out the Udyr. You know how it is. Yeah, I think something I can improve on for sure here is kind of doing that Alois strategy where I'm ahead by a ton. I should not be giving him this much space to play the game. Only problem is, of course, that he's a ranged top laner with a really strong ultimate, which makes it a lot harder for me to actually chunk him out, and I'm also not playing my waves the best either. Fizz walks up again, we spot him, no worries. Hit him with the W just to freak him out a little bit. Don't actually take the W or the E there because we get ourselves killed. But of course, respect the space and go from there. Missed the W on him there. We are chunked out quite a bit. Knowing that I can't just walk away here, I do opt to jump onto the Swain. Boom, get the W, full damage, kill him there. Now, we only get that kill because we are so far ahead. In any other situation, we die there. So you'll see it kind of happen later on in the game. We're going to get to the point where we're not that much stronger than Swain, and we get into some bad situations. I blame mostly that on inexperience in the matchup. I've not played against the Swain top as any champion, let alone as an off-meta champion that doesn't have super clear top lane win conditions like Xin Zhao. So we see the TP. We can't quite just walk straight down and help Udyr. We also can't quite fight. We're in a weird situation here where even though we are stronger than the Swain, we don't have the mana or the HP bar to actually fight him and prove that we're stronger. We also have 1,700 gold not spent. So we have to play a little passive here using our passive. Hey, look at that go. To heal up while we farm these minions under tower. Of course, wanting the Graves to gank us rather than try and fight a 1v2 on the Grubs. But beggars can't be choosers. Sion jumps in post-fight to fight for the Grubs, even though they're already gone. You can see where I feel like his gaps in logic are pretty prevalent. But yeah, I mean, we get to chunk out Swain because we get our knock-up while he walks under tower. At this point, I am baiting because I know that when he walks up, he can't actually kill me. Graves has respawned. Now we're looking for an angle to actually kill the Swain, if he chooses to stay. If not, we just do a cheeky little recall. The wave crashes in the middle. Of course, you know, Swain's gonna get there before me, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. Much better to have the waves crash in the middle, high back, and Swain gets maybe half of a wave into the turret versus I lose the whole wave, right? And potentially give him a plate. He's actually pretty slow on the return to lane, so we lose basically nothing for this play, which is pretty good for me, really. We get to spend our gold without losing too much minions. We lose about a half a wave due to just minions dying. And this is another one of those examples of a fight where I have an advantage, but I missed my W there, so this gives him a big old shutdown, I think. Yeah, 400 gold plus so 700 total gold for getting that kill. Really bad for me there. He's finally finished his Thornmail, and he's working towards his, I'm assuming, Riftmaker, or maybe Leandry's, or Rylai's probably, actually, if I'm thinking about it correctly. This is the beginning of the weird stuff that Sion starts doing top lane. He starts just kind of taking all of the prio top, which is strange to me. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do in this situation when my support is taking my whole wave and all of the gold for killing the tower. You know what I mean? It's good for him, but it's just a very strange situation. I'm not well versed in exactly what to do when he does this, and of course he's also more than likely going to die to the Swain, which is not good for us either. We do find an angle here to protect him. Thank God. But yeah. Now my lane's in a weird spot where there's no turret now to bounce the waves off of. So I can only go so far. In retribution for his crimes, I do steal the scuttle crab from the Swain, and under full vision of Udyr, we start this knowing that I have everything up except for flash. Hit the W. Boom. Ignite him. He's dead. A couple of hits on that, but we see the wave crashing towards top. And so we ditch Rift Herald. Obviously, we don't need 4 people on it to kill it, so we go top to catch our wave. Another 1,500 gold in our pockets. In retrospect here, I think Black Cleaver would have been great as a 3rd item, but Titanic Hydra would have gone really hard with the lead that we have. Just getting those extra auto attacks. But of course, hindsight's 2020. I don't think Black Cleaver's a bad item. Just because he rushed Thornmail is why I picked it. But it is just not quite as effective as I think Titanic would have been. We start giving Swain a bunch of free stacks. Learn an interesting way to do the trading pattern. After he hits his pull, that's when we use our E. And it basically always lands. Here we jump on him, and this is where we start to realize we're not as strong as we wanted. Now what I need to do here, instead of running, is just fight him, right? I realize that, but it's a little too late. I've just been tanking for a little too long, and he's just running away. Playing his range advantage here very well. I do die. Unfortunate, but it's my own fault. I go... What are those? Moby boots? No, not Moby. Swift shoes, yeah. I go Swifties here because he's going to have a lot of slows with Rylai's, and there's other slows on their team as well with Udyr and Fizz. I don't particularly need something like Merc Treads because I'm eventually going to buy some MR later anyway. I think Swifties are a good choice here. They're also super cheap and don't delay my next item by a ton. Swain once again is top lane. I don't know what he's up to. He has teleport as a support and didn't buy the support item. So he's stolen a bunch of minions, and also just pushing the turret is good in general, but we don't need that gold on our support, if that makes sense. It seems like a decent strategy, but also it just leaves me without a place to go when he does that out of nowhere, because he just abandons the team. So we got to learn through time exactly what to do during these situations where Scion is pushing. Bit of a strange opportunity here. Graves goes way too deep in without any kind of backup, and so he dies. They get the Drake. We all just kind of sit around doing nothing. Swain does Swain things and kills my Scion. And now there's 4 people pushing mid and somebody pushing top. Because I can't go top, I have to go fight the dragon, even though my support's top side. Okay, this fight was insane. Basically, I see the Fizz jumping on me, and I haven't had an auto attack on him yet, so when he jumps past me, use my R to push him into the turret, use my Ignite, jump on him. He has no way of getting out of it now. Blow him up. Really cool fight there. Probably more luck than anything with the positioning of the Fizz, but a little bit of Xin Zhao mechanics as well. Again, even though we're 7-3, we do lose to this Swain if we don't, you know, fight him at the right times. We let him get about 5 Qs on us before we jump in. Then we jump in and can't actually get out. Times his E perfectly. Pulls us in. Flash Qs under the tower. That's awkward. Sion runs in. Doesn't let the Swain ult land. Takes a bunch of damage. Luckily, there's 3 members of my team here, so Swain does eventually die. So at this point, you'd think, right, I am very far ahead in gold, right? I think I'm about 1,000 gold ahead or so. The problem is, his ultimate is such a strong skill that what I need to do is bait it out, let him use it, let it run out, then fight him. But instead, I'm kind of just running at him because I'm not that good against Swain. We're entering that realm of the game that we talked about in the last video, where your role changes from a main damage dealer into more of a facilitator for my team. Now, I look at my team, and they're not that strong right now. You notice Sion dying again in the top side, does get the turret though. That's 700 gold in his pocket. Glad that our support is doing that. But we're still fishing for opportunities to jump in on people, right? We're not afraid by any means of anyone except for maybe an all-in against the Swain. And this is all because I gave him that shutdown on turret just to get 1 kill and push the wave in. Obviously not worth it. In future games, we're going to want to play a little smarter than that. Udyr gets away. I'm not going to chase for much longer than that. Getting the mid wave because this is what Sion's been doing. Every time his ult is available, like I'm clearly walking top side. Sion ult's available. Ult's the top wave. I don't know. So at this point, I'm running through my head trying to make a decision on like, what do I do with this guy, right? He's 0-8. I have to figure out how to play with him or we're going to lose the game, right? If I'm not playing around him and he's just doing bad ideas, we're going to lose. So it's better to commit to a bad idea than to do nothing, right? I had nothing to do. There were 2 people mid lane already. Unfortunately, I thought Sion was going to tank first. I had to walk really far out of range. Then he starts tanking. And so I try to use my my dash to get out. Unfortunately, this has flash. Not great. We get a lot of damage on the top turret, though. Trying to think like the Sion is, where it's like, this is a great idea because the top turret damage happened. More people fighting the Swain without leaving his R range. As you can see, he still has his R up all the way until he finally does die. We are fairly low elo, so I'm not surprised too much. And, you know, I'm not the greatest against Swain either. I can't expect these people to play perfectly. Dragon spawning soon. We're all kind of looking at that as an objective. I'm also just kind of looking to get any kind of farmers that I can, because obviously Swain is running it down top lane perma, and which means that there's no waves for me to catch there. So we'll take some jungle camps. Swain will get another turret, thanks to the damage that I helped him do, obviously. But there's so many people topside. Fortunately, they are on the dragon. I thought they weren't for a second. But I have a great flank here. Right on top of Kog'Maw. If I don't need to use my W to get the increased range on my E, it's way better to wait till you have your knock-up, so you can guarantee both parts of the damage. A little bit different if you're playing Xin Zhao jungle, especially against jungle camps. You want to use that W as soon as possible, so you can then use your Q to lower the cooldown. And you'll see here, why you do that, because then your W cooldown's basically nothing. 900 gold, almost enough to get me my next item. And again, I think, okay, cool. Wave is pushing towards top lane. Let's go there, catch that. I'm also now looking at what are my options to make a fight against the Swain winnable. I stumble upon this little beauty, Force of Nature. After taking magic damage from champions 8 different times, gain 70 something magic resist. That sounds like the perfect tool to absolutely obliterate Swain in any longer fight. Ahri dies mid. Sion takes all my farm topside. And now I'm trying to catch out the Fizz here, and I don't know what happened to him. He apparently jumped over that wall without me realizing, so he does get away. Mostly because I'm dumb. Sion gets killed by 3 people, top side. I'm now down a level on the Swain because I haven't been able to actually have a lane to farm in. We do, however, see Graves coming. I try to flash away so that Swain ult doesn't last, but we're not doing that, so obviously let's just get the kill. And now I'm just trying to get as many autos in as I humanly can before Udyr kills me. Almost survive, but we do get the Graves, the double kill. I'm not the main character. I'll be fine with getting my teammate a double kill, obviously. Yeah, I've lost a lot of my tempo, mostly due to my own failures as a top laner. Some fundamentals that I could be getting stronger on, but we got a really good early game lead, so we're still super relevant towards this later sides of the game. We've got our 3rd item, 3 core items completed. We are feeling good, and once we get Null Magic Mantle and Force of Nature completed, whew, we are going to be feeling great. And Sion's feeling great always because he's like 0-12 at this point and just wants to hit the turrets. I ping Jhin, make sure that he doesn't commit the same crimes as Sion. Get some good damage on the mid turret. Apologize for the coughing. Yeah, my team's fighting around the Baron Pit area. Looking for any good angle I can see. We get Vision of Brand recalling here, so I try to make a little sneaky play, avoiding this ward and hitting him, but he's just a little deeper than I thought he was in that bush, so I don't get to be some cool guy. You know the drill. Go top lane, or at least try to, and hope Sion does not show up in top lane. Smack that, go straight up in the air for no reason, and that's about it. Sion using his ult to actually escape from a fight for once, which is great. Which means he takes a bunch of pressure, and we can start the Baron. Right, we are playing with Sion in this moment. Sion starts playing for his life instead of to get turrets. Takes a bunch of people bot side, we get the Baron for free. Awesome. We see Swain alone and vulnerable. We jump straight on him, knowing that at this point, we've got all the people we need to kill him right here with us. Trying to position well here. Push the Udyr back with my ult. Use my ult to block all of this damage from the enemy team. Super big there. This is a crazy fight. So we know that we can't escape, right? We see Fizz, so we're just trying to blow up Kog'Maw. Boom, we blow up Kog'Maw. Brand backs up because he thinks we can kill him. Use our E to dodge Kog'Maw's passive. Stack up the knock-up, boom. Jump on him, he's dead. We're low HP, but so is Fizz. Hit the W. Bait out his jump, and jump straight on him. Boom. Triple kill. After 3 of my teammates died, almost all of those kills are solely because of my plays, right? Swain and I think Udyr died to the Graves, but all of the damage that was done to Udyr and keeping Udyr in place was me. Crazy carry in the team fight there, And I'm only able to do that because of my early game damage. And Scion the whole time is pushing bot side. Gets an inhibitor, gets all the towers, and even ults in one more time to get one of the Nexus turrets. And we're fine with that. We're perfectly fine with that. This is what Scion was there for in the first place, right? He draws pressure bot, we get free stuff top side. We draw pressure bot, top side, he pushes bot lane, gets free towers, right? That's what the plan should have always been, but it just took us a while to actually figure that game plan out. Now we're back at this point where we are super far ahead and ready to fight at any given moment. We get our third Drake of the game. We're now on soul point. We have a little bit of Baron buff left, so we're going to play to just get some more turrets down. Taking this on the way takes longer than I expected, but it's going to go to all 4 members of my team that are alive, so it's worth the time waste anyway. Yeah, using our Baron buff, pushing the wave in. We're not looking to fight them. We're just looking to get these waves crashed and punching the turrets. So now the only turret they're going to have left this entire game is one last Nexus turret, and it's one Scion ult away from getting blown up no matter what. So right now I'm kind of wanting to back, but my teammates are staying up. I'm trying to support them as the facilitator I am. And also just use the last of that Baron buff. Once that's gone, I'm out of there. Theoretically. Okay, there I go. Worried about my whole team dying to Scion or Swain ult, so I do start walking down there, but then I see this Fizz start walking at my team, so I try and jump on him as well. Hit that E through the wall, and this guy's trolling. I'm just using my ult and the timings that it gives me to just absolutely obliterate these guys and set them up for my Graves to murder. 4 people dead. All of us alive with Scion. Let's just push the waves. There's no time for them to stop us. Only one person alive, and it's their brand support. And even though my support is 0-13, we play around him correctly, and we find a very free win. Tank the turret for Graves to kill it. And bing, bang, boom. Plus 50. GG. What a great match. I absolutely had a blast playing some more Xin Zhao top lane. If you try it out, let me know how it goes. See you next time.